Imagine this. You are stretched out on your couch. Your PS5 is sitting across the room, untouched. And without even reaching for your DualSense controller, you're already inside your game. Not in some sci-fi way, but through a device that feels like a strange mix of nostalgia, modern tech, and a bit of unexpected heft. Sony actually built that. Before we dive into how, make sure you subscribe for more informative videos, as I work hard to gather useful information for you. In return, you just hit the bell icon button so you never miss what is coming next. Now, let's talk about one of the most debated, mocked, praised, and secretly adored gaming gadgets in recent years. The PlayStation Portal. By the time we reach the end of this video, you will probably land in one of two camps. Either you will be thinking, I need this in my hands right now, or you will still be wondering, why do so many people love this thing? Either way, stay with me, because the real story behind the PlayStation Portal is much deeper than the memes. Most people discovered the Portal in one of two extremes. On one side, there were hardcore gamers shouting online, "This is not a handheld. Stop calling a handheld." On the other, there were people saying, "Bro, this changed my life. I can play PS5 in bed now." Two completely different perspectives, one single device. And that's where the Portal's weird charm begins. It isn't trying to replace the Nintendo Switch. It isn't trying to be a Steam Deck. It isn't even trying to be the long-lost sequel to the PS Vita, even though a lot of us secretly wish it was. The Portal exists in its own lane. It's like Sony woke up and said, let's build a gadget that only PS5 owners can use, that only works over Wi-Fi, that nobody specifically asked for, but that somehow ends up fitting into everyone's life. And somehow it actually worked. But before launch, everyone had the same big question. Why? Why make something that can't run games by itself? Why lock it strictly to remote play from the PS5? Why skip Bluetooth? Why no Netflix, no YouTube, no native PlayStation plus cloud streaming? It felt like Sony walked onto the stage and said, here it is, now buy it. And the wild part? People did. Not only did they buy it, it sold out multiple times. The more time you spend using the Portal, the more its purpose starts to make sense. This is not a console. This is not a traditional handheld. It is a lifestyle upgrade. The Portal is the I don't feel like sitting at my desk right now button. It is a someone else is using the TV, but I still want to keep playing solution. It is the I am traveling, I am resting, I am in another room, but I want PS5 right now answer. Gaming today isn't just about frames and resolution. It is about comfort, vibe, and environment. The Portal locks into that perfectly. What makes the Portal surprisingly powerful is that it doesn't just look like a PS5 controller. It doesn't kind of feel like DualSense. It literally feels identical because that's a design. A DualSense split in half with an 8-inch screen in the middle. You get haptic feedback, adaptive triggers, the same button layout, the same muscle memory. That's where the magic starts. The first time you boot your PS5 remotely, feel those adaptive triggers push back and the tiny haptic pulses in your hands. You forget that you are streaming. You forget that the console is sitting somewhere else in the house. It feels genuine. It feels responsive. It feels alive. Now, let's tackle the biggest fear people have right away. Lag. Every time the Portal comes up, someone immediately asks, what about latency? What about ping? What about input delay? And here's the crazy part. When your connection is solid, it doesn't feel like remote play. It feels like normal play. That's why so many fans keep saying, it just works. The Portal doesn't try to do 1,000 different things. It does one thing. Stream your PS5 to your hands. And when your network is good, it does that one thing really well. Then something happened after launch that Sony probably didn't fully predict. The narrative around the Portal started to shift. People began to love it. Not the spec-obsessed crowd comparing teraflops. Not the spreadsheet warriors measuring performance in charts and graphs. Real players. People who work long days. People with partners, kids, roommates. People who share one TV with the whole house. People who want to relax without sitting upright in a gaming chair every evening. Quietly but steadily, that audience embraced the Portal. Because here's a truth we don't say enough. Convenience beats raw power. Comfort beats complexity. A device that fits your real life will always be the device that only impresses in spec sheets. The Portal fits into real life. That's its superpower. But every good story has a twist. Once people actually got the Portal into their hands, something strange started happening online. The same voices that made fun of it began defending it. The same accounts that joked about it started posting pictures of themselves playing in the backyard, in bed, on the balcony, on trips at the kitchen table, and yes, in the car, hopefully not in the driver's seat. Suddenly, the Portal wasn't just some odd Sony experiment. It became a conversation, a trend, a mood. At the core of all that is something deeper, nostalgia. Remember sneaking in extra gaming time under the blanket with a handheld? Long car rides with a Game Boy? Lazy afternoons on the couch with a PSP? Lying sideways on your bed with a Nintendo DS in your hands? There's a special kind of feeling that comes from holding your game close, not being tethered to a TV, not locked into one spot, just you and the screen. The Portal brings that feeling back, but with a twist. It connects that childhood magic directly to your full PS5 library. That's a different kind of power. Emotional, not just technical. Now, to be clear, this device is far from perfect. There's no Bluetooth audio, no native apps, no offline games. If you're outside Wi-Fi, you'll need to use a hotspot. Technically, it's just a PS5 accessory with an identity crisis. And yet, that's what makes it fascinating. Because the people who love it are not in love with perfection. They are in love with the one thing it does incredibly well, letting them play PS5 comfortably anywhere at home and sometimes beyond. That's why the Portal is not a device you truly understand by reading a spec list. It's something you understand once you actually live with it. So, who is the PlayStation Portal really for? It's for the person who wants to game without turning the living room into a full cinema event. It's for the person who shares the main TV with family. It's for the player who loves late-night sessions under the blanket. It's for commuters who want PS5 during downtime. It's for travelers setting up in hotel rooms. It's for parents who want to keep playing without waking the kids. It's for anyone who misses that old handheld feeling but doesn't want to leave their PS5 behind. If that sounds like you, the Portal quickly becomes surprisingly valuable. If it doesn't, you might still enjoy it, but it won't feel essential. And that's the beauty. The Portal doesn't try to be essential. It tries to be enjoyable. It's about ease. It's about freedom. Now let me paint a scene. It's late. You're exhausted. You don't want to fire up the big TV. You don't want bright lights and loudspeakers. But your PS5 is still calling your name. You grab the Portal. You tap the PlayStation button. Your console wakes up from across the room. Within seconds, you are exactly where you left off. You're lying down. You're relaxed. The display looks sharp. The controls are familiar. The whole experience feels natural and low effort. Suddenly, gaming doesn't feel like a full setup. It feels like relaxation. That's the real secret of the Portal. Not power, not specs, not features, comfort. So, why did Sony build this in the first place? Because the future of gaming is not tied to a single spot. It's about flexibility. It's about moving around the house. It's about fitting games into your life instead of rearranging your whole evening around them. The Portal is Sony's first serious step into that future. It isn't flawless, but it is bold. And if history has taught us anything, it's that bold experiments often become iconic later. Just like the PSP, just like the Vita, just like many of the risky ideas Sony has tried before. The PlayStation Portal is not for everyone, but for the people it is for, it hits incredibly hard. Not because it's the most powerful gaming device in the world, but because it brings joy, it brings ease, it brings freedom. It brings back old memories while creating new ones. It connects your PS5 to moments in your day where gaming normally wouldn't fit. You may not have asked for it, but a lot of people discovered it's exactly what they didn't know they needed. Now, let's zoom out and talk about the bigger picture, because the Portal is quietly shifting gaming culture. Look at how gaming has evolved. First, we had arcades, huge machines you had to travel to. Then home consoles, boxes that lived under the TV. Then handhelds. Suddenly gaming followed you around. Then smartphones. Gaming became truly everywhere. But home consoles stayed rooted in one place. The Portal is one of the first mainstream devices to gently unchain that console experience from the living room. Once you realize you can continue your PS5 story from the couch, the bed, the balcony, or the garden, your idea of console gaming starts to change. That opens up big questions. What if the next version allows you to stream from anywhere in the country? What if a future PlayStation device merges full console power with full mobility? What if home console eventually stops meaning stuck at home? The Portal feels like the first page of that next chapter. Now, let's bring it back to something every gamer respects: interruptions. You're deep into a mission mid-boss fight or absorbed in a cutscene you don't want to skip, and suddenly someone needs a TV. The family wants a movie. Your partner wants their show. You need to move to another room. Normally, that moment is pure frustration. You lose the flow. You lose immersion. With the Portal, that moment changes. You don't have to stop. You just pick it up, walk away, and keep playing. No argument. No compromise. No pause in the experience. It's not just convenient. It's freeing. There's another subtle thing the Portal changes: how you think about gaming time. When play becomes easier to access, you naturally play more often. Short windows that felt too small for a TV session suddenly become perfect for a Portal session. 10 minutes before bed? Portal. Waiting on laundry? Portal. Sitting outside for a bit of fresh air? Portal. Letting dinner cook? Portal. Your PS5 stops being something you only use during big gaming sessions and starts becoming part of your everyday rhythm. That's why so many people say they end up using the Portal far more than they expected. They buy it thinking, I'll use this sometimes, and 2 months later, it becomes a default way to play unless they specifically want the large screen. There's also something very human the Portal does. It reduces gaming guilt. Firing up a giant TV with booming audio can feel like an announcement. I'm gaming now. Do not disturb. It takes space. It demands attention. The Portal is the opposite. It feels private, gentle, and quiet. It doesn't dominate the room. It blends into it. It turns gaming from I'm taking over the living room into I'm relaxing with my game. That tiny shift in perception makes it much easier to enjoy your hobby without feeling like you're disrupting everyone else. People were also skeptical about the screen at first. Only 1080p, only 60 Hz. That's nothing special. And yet, the moment you see it in person, it just looks right. It's bright, sharp, and clean. Colors look great. Motion is smooth. For remote PS5 play, it feels more than good enough. The Portal is not trying to be a mini 4K OLED monster. It's trying to give you the most comfortable way to stream PS5 games, and it absolutely delivers on that. And the ergonomics? That might be its most underrated strength. The Portal is one of the most comfortable handheld gaming devices out there. You can hold it for long sessions without your hands cramping. The grips feel like a proper controller. The buttons feel exactly as you expect from a DualSense. You're not fighting the hardware. You're sinking into it. Comfort is the difference between a device you test and a device you keep reaching for, and the Portal nails that part. Then something else happened. The Portal became a social media aesthetic. People started posting pictures of it in cozy bedrooms, aesthetic setups, cafes, hotel balconies, dorm rooms, road trips. It turned from just a gadget into a lifestyle accessory. It looks good in almost every environment. It became content. It became a vibe. Very few devices manage to do that. And that brings us to the future. The Portal is a hint, not the final form. If this is Sony's first attempt, what does the second or third look like? Maybe the next version supports native cloud streaming. Maybe it finally gets Bluetooth. Maybe it works seamlessly outside the house. Maybe Sony leans fully into this and builds an entire ecosystem around console streaming. Early products that kick off a new wave are usually misunderstood at launch, then celebrated later. The Portal feels like one of those. At the end of the day, gaming is more than a hobby. It's an escape, a stress release, a way to connect with friends, a form of storytelling, and sometimes even a kind of therapy. It's a safe world you control when the real one feels overwhelming. The PlayStation Portal brings that world a little closer, not on a giant screen, not in a complicated setup, but in your hands, wherever you feel most at ease. That's why people fall for it. Not because it's flawless, but because it's personal. It creates this small, quiet bubble between you and your game, a direct link to your PS5 that feels effortless. You don't really understand how powerful that is until you experience it for yourself. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.